Well, here's a conversation starter as we look at DFW Airport on this chilly Monday morning. Sell the darn thing. Take the money and run. D Magazine editor Tim Rogers is here to explain. This is the cover story, why we should sell DFW Airport.
Let's be clear. We're not saying sell it. We're saying sell the operations.
So, privatize it.
Privatize the operations. I mean,
Right.
the cities of Fort Worth and Dallas own the airport.
Right, jointly. And it was built a gazillion years ago out in the
45?
middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that makes it great because there's so much land out there. And right now, a lot of it's not being developed.
Right.
And if we privatize the operation of it, the person who ran it would be able to develop that land.
And this actually came to your boss from the former city attorney who was running for mayor for about a week.
Larry Casso's the
Yeah.
one that brought us the idea. You know, we're not making this stuff up. And the guy who's the CEO of the airport, when he goes out to conventions, people come up to him and say, hey, you ever thought about this?
Yeah. Why would it be a good idea? I'll tell you why it's a bad idea, the current structure, because it is an enormous asset that generates practically no revenue for the city.
We get a few million bucks a year is what it amounts to. And if we sold it to a private operator, now there's some bond debt, there's some other complicated things to take care of first, but it could mean $5 billion in cash right off the top to the city of Dallas.
$841 million in revenue, and the city of Dallas' share of that is $7 million a year, less than 1%.
It's like the change you find in your couch.
Yeah, it really is. It's so insignificant that it probably doesn't really, but that goes to the general fund of the city of Dallas. And $7 million doesn't go very far.
So once you do all the math, let's say $5 billion, so city of Dallas owns 64% of the airport.
Yeah.
So once you do all the math and you take care of the bond debt, it could be $5 billion. Now, this is an optimistic number, okay? It could be about $5 billion right off the top to the city of Dallas.
You'd be talking about similar to what was done with Fair Park. We think that might work. There's some talk of doing it with the Meyerson Symphony Center. It has been done with the Dallas Zoo. Turn it over to a private operator. And why do they do such a better job than a public entity does?
Because that's their job.
Because
right?
they have an incentive, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The better they do, the more money they make. And so there wouldn't only be that upfront payment, but then we would get payments, revenue share.
Right.
San Juan Airport did this. Okay, $600 million they got right off the top. And then as the agreement goes on for years and years, you continue to get money from it, sharing the revenue.
Right. And it's a continuous struggle, it seems like, in the city of Dallas to take care of basic infrastructure needs.
Think we could fill a few potholes with $5 billion bucks?
Yeah, potholes, pave the streets, replace some streets, bridges that are
bike
crumbling.
lanes. How about bike lanes?
That would go over well in my house. I definitely know that. Yeah, there are a lot of, and the one-time payment could take care of a lot of those aging infrastructure needs.
So here's the thing: people need to read the entire article, D Magazine. Okay, but the bottom line is the former city attorney said, not sure whether this will work or not, but we would be dumb not to at least investigate it.
Right, right. And beyond that, for other things that the city considers assets, I know the Meyerson Symphony Center is a lovely building until you really look at it, and then it's in pretty crummy shape.
Or if it's raining and
Right.
you're inside trying to eat dinner at one of those events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would there be continuing then revenue that would exceed what we're making now under the current structure?
Yeah.
So you
That's
could
the way San Juan
sell
did
it, take $5 billion, theoretically, take $5 billion, and still make more money than we're making now.
Right. And then let's have a look at Love Field.
Yeah.
So DFW, it'd be a little bit more complicated because the city of Fort Worth would have to agree too, but Dallas owns Love Field outright, so it would be even easier.
Right.
And then we should rename Love Field. Herb Kelleher Love Field.
Listen.
There's an idea we can all get behind.
Who's going to argue with that?
Nobody.
All right. All right. More information and a link to the article in D Magazine. The issue is on stands now, and we have more on fox4news.com. Fascinating idea.
Thank you for saying so.
Well, yeah, I'm fascinated. All right, we've got more to come.